80%. That's how much of the world's AI compute runs through a single company's chips. Not Apple. Not Google. NVIDIA. And Jensen Huang didn't just get lucky, he spent 30 years building a monopoly so deep, so structural, that even China, even the US government, even trillion-dollar rivals can't break it. This is the full story of how a Taiwanese immigrant in a leather jacket cornered the most important technology on Earth and why his next move could decide who wins the AI war. Let's rewind to 1993. Jensen Huang is sitting in a Denny's in San Jose, sketching out a company on a napkin. The idea? Build chips that render 3D graphics for video games. Everyone thought it was a niche. Intel dominated CPUs. Gaming was a toy market. But Jensen saw something nobody else did, that parallel computing, doing thousands of small calculations at once, was the future. For 13 years, NVIDIA was just a gaming company. GeForce cards. Quake. Half-Life. Teenagers in basements. Wall Street barely cared. But here's what nobody is telling you: in 2006, Jensen made a decision that looked insane at the time, and it's the single reason NVIDIA owns AI today. That decision was called CUDA. In 2006, Jensen ordered his entire company solution looking for a problem. But here's where it gets crazy: Jensen isn't building CUDA for today's market. He's building it for a market that doesn't exist yet. Then September 2012 happens. A researcher named Alex Krashevsky enters the ImageNet competition, a contest to see which AI can recognize images best. Every other team uses traditional CPUs. Alex uses two NVIDIA GTX 580 gaming GPUs running CUDA. His AI, called AlexNet, doesn't just win, it crushes the competition by a margin so large that it rewrites the entire field of artificial intelligence overnight. Every AI researcher on Earth suddenly realizes deep learning works, and it only works on NVIDIA chips. The gold rush begins. From 2012 to 2016, NVIDIA quietly transforms. Google buys their GPUs. Facebook buys their GPUs. A tiny startup called OpenAI buys their GPUs. Jensen sees the wave forming and makes his second insane bet: he rebuilds NVIDIA from a gaming company into an AI infrastructure company. In 2016, he hand-delivers the first DGX-1 AI supercomputer to OpenAI's office. Elon Musk signs the box. That single machine will train the models that eventually become ChatGPT. The chip war's opening shot just got fired, and nobody outside Silicon Valley even noticed. But here's the part Wall Street still doesn't understand. NVIDIA's real moat isn't the chips, it's CUDA. Over 17 years, 4 million developers have built their entire careers on CUDA. Every AI framework, PyTorch, TensorFlow, JAX, is optimized for NVIDIA hardware first. AMD makes competitive chips. Intel makes competitive chips. Google's TPUs are arguably better at certain tasks. None of it matters. Because if you want to train a frontier AI model in 2024, you don't have a choice. You buy NVIDIA, or you lose the race. Then comes 2022. November 30th, OpenAI releases ChatGPT. Within 2 months, it hits 100 million users, the fastest growing product in human history. And every single query runs on NVIDIA H100 chips, which sell for $40,000 each. Microsoft orders 150,000. Meta orders 350,000. Saudi Arabia orders billions of dollars worth. NVIDIA's revenue explodes from $27 billion to $60 billion to $130 billion in 24 months. The stock goes up 900%. Jensen Huang becomes the most important CEO on Earth, more powerful, in some ways, than the President of the United States. Because Jensen decides who gets AI compute, and who doesn't. Which brings us to the geopolitical earthquake. In October 2022, the Biden administration bans NVIDIA from selling its top chips to China. Why? Because whoever controls AI compute controls the future of military power, economic power, everything. China is now spending $50 billion trying to build their own NVIDIA, and they're still years behind. Meanwhile, NVIDIA depends entirely on one Taiwanese company, TSMC, to manufacture every single chip. If China invades Taiwan, NVIDIA's supply chain collapses overnight. The world's most valuable company is balanced on the edge of a knife held 100 miles off the coast of mainland China. So here's the real question: can anyone break the monopoly? AMD is trying. Intel is trying. Google, Amazon, and Microsoft are all building their own AI chips to escape NVIDIA's grip. But Jensen is already 3 steps ahead. The Blackwell B200 launches in 2024, 5 times more powerful than the H100. The Rubin platform comes in 2026. NVIDIA isn't slowing down. They're accelerating. And as long as the AI revolution keeps growing, one company in Santa Clara collects a tax on the future of human intelligence. If you want to understand the chip war before it hits the headlines, subscribe. I break down one geopolitical chip story every week. Google, Amazon, and Microsoft are all designing their own AI silicon to escape NVIDIA's pricing. Startups like Cerebras and Grok are attacking specific workloads. But Jensen has already moved on to robotics, to autonomous vehicles, to entire AI data centers sold as a single product. He doesn't want to sell chips. He wants to sell the future of computing itself. The question isn't whether NVIDIA's monopoly will end. The question is whether anyone can stop Jensen from building the next one before the first one even cracks. If you want to understand the chip war before it hits your portfolio, subscribe. I break down one move every week.